8 women were found dead in the swamps of Louisiana, all connected, all ignored, no one charged. This is the chilling, unsolved story of the Jeff Davis 8 in the small town of Jennings, Louisiana, located 200 miles west of New Orleans. A terrifying series of events unfolded between 2005 and 2009. 8 women vanished without a trace, and their bodies were discovered one by one in canals, on back roads, and in shallow swamps. Despite the passage of time, the case remains unsolved, and many believe that the truth behind these murders has been deliberately concealed. Jennings, a small town with a population of fewer than 10,000, experienced a dark and turbulent period between 2005 and 2009. During those 4 years, 8 women went missing, and what makes this case particularly chilling is that these women weren't strangers. They lived in close proximity, knew each other, and were even seen together mere days before their tragic deaths. The women shared similar struggles in life, including poverty, drug addiction, and involvement in sex work. They were part of the same tight-knit community. Many of them had been arrested before, and some had even worked as police informants. This series of disappearances was anything but random. It seems that someone, or perhaps a group of individuals, targeted these women specifically. They knew who they were going after, making the case all the more sinister. The first victim was 28-year-old Loretta Chasson. Her body was discovered in a canal in May 2005. Tragically, just a month later, Ernestine Patterson's body was found in another canal. In quick succession, the bodies of Kristen Lopez, Whitney Dubois, and Laconia Muggy Brown were also found, all within a year. By 2009, the final victim, Nicole Guidori, was discovered along a highway near the parish line. The bodies of all 8 women bore visible signs of trauma. Some had been strangled, while others had their throats slashed. Many were so badly decomposed that determining the exact cause of death became impossible. As the mystery deepened and the victims' families continued to search for answers, the public began referring to them as the Jeff Davis 8-8. However, to their loved ones, they were so much more than a collective title. They were daughters, sisters, and mothers. And yet, despite their pleas for justice, no one seemed to be listening. Local police claimed they were doing all they could to solve the case. However, from the outset, the investigation was marred by incompetence and missteps. Evidence was misplaced, crime scenes were contaminated, and some of the victims' bodies were discovered by ordinary citizens instead of law enforcement officials. In one instance, the coroner reported that a body had been moved, while in another, a key witness alleged that police refused to pursue leads. Many of the victims' families felt marginalized and even threatened when they demanded answers. To complicate matters further, 6 of the 8 women had previously worked as informants for the local sheriff's office, assisting with drug arrests. This connection fueled suspicions that law enforcement officials might have had more information than they were divulging. It begged the question, could the police have known more than they were letting on? Frankie Richard, a man with a sordid background as a pimp, drug dealer, and frequent patron of strip clubs, found himself at the center of the investigation. He had connections to most of the victims and was arrested and questioned several times, even being named as a suspect. Despite this, he was never formally charged. Frankie consistently maintained his innocence, claiming that he loved some of the women and accused the police of being responsible for the murders. In interviews, Frankie teased that he might have information about who was truly behind the killings.
I don't know his name, but they had gotten beat up a couple of days before that, before Christian went missing. Now, I'm not saying that the one that beat him up is the one that killed him, but
he never provided concrete answers. Frankie passed away in 2020 without ever facing trial for the murders. For many, his death marked the end of any hope for discovering the truth behind these tragic events. As the case remained unsolved, more rumors began to circulate. Whispers of a sex trafficking ring, corrupt police officers, and drugs being smuggled through the town with assistance from insiders started to emerge. A private investigator spoke candidly about the situation, saying, "There is a level of corruption in Jefferson Davis Parish that most people wouldn't believe." Some individuals even theorized that the killings weren't the work of a single killer, but rather a network of men who used and exploited women, then silenced them when they became a liability. In an attempt to unravel the truth, the FBI eventually got involved, setting up a task force dedicated to the investigation. Despite this, no arrests were made, and the case remains unsolved to this day. 8 women, and still not a single answer. In 2019, the case received renewed attention when Showtime released a documentary titled Murder in the Bayou. The show delved into the chilling details of the murders and provided a platform for the families of the victims to share their experiences and voice their ongoing search for answers. The documentary brought the case back into the national spotlight, though it failed to yield any new charges or breakthroughs in the investigation. Locals still live in fear, worried that speaking out might put them in danger. The sense that if you say the wrong name, you too could disappear continues to permeate the community. While the town of Jennings has moved on, the families of the victims remain trapped in a state of limbo, waiting and hoping for justice and closure. The Jeff Davis 8 deserve justice, and their families deserve answers. It is crucial that these stories are not forgotten, and that the truth behind these murders eventually comes to light. If you're interested in more in-depth explorations of cases like this, consider liking, subscribing, and dropping a comment. And remember, sometimes the most frightening stories are the ones that remain untold.